starter. Anastasia and Lily basically played starters minutes. These are kids that are very experienced. Lola averaged over 13 a game as a freshman. What can you say about, especially to have these three back for you?
Oh, we're looking forward to them stepping up and having a great year. I mean, we lost 4 senior starters. You forgot about Destiny Wallace, who's starting now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's the point guard at Georgian Court. We don't rebuild, we reload, and that's the plan this year.
Anastasia, for you, I would imagine you got to be excited. You've been a big part of this program for a few years, but you've never really started much. Now you're going to be a starter and a leader. What's this like for you?
It's definitely different and a big change, but I'm very excited, and I love the team, so I'm really glad I could do it with these girls.
Talk about the experience of playing at Wildwood Catholic. So many big games, especially last year, but even earlier in your career.
They're just a big family. Like, we're a good culture. We're all positive. You get to come to practice. You get to play with these girls every day. Everyone's like family. It's like a sister. You come, you give advice, you get to play with them, have fun, team bonding. It's one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Lola, your older brother went to Wildwood Catholic, so I guess that made the decision for you to come to Wildwood Catholic a little bit easier. What did you think of your freshman year?
I really liked it. It was nice getting exposed to different people, and I've known Coach Steve forever, so it kind of wasn't like a big change, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I made a good decision by coming here.
Even though you're still one of the younger girls, you feel like you're going to take on a bigger role this year?
Yeah, definitely.
How so?
I'm like the point guard, so obviously I'm directing them on offense and just stepping up my defense by communication.
Okay. All right, let's get Lily involved down there. Lil, what are your thoughts about this upcoming season and what you guys have? And we'll get into some of the new players that you have with your coach. How's the preseason been going so far, and what do you think about where you stand?
It's been going very good.
There, just hold that up a little closer. There you go.
Yeah, we played some tough competition that definitely helped us, and I just think we're going to have a very good season. Very excited.
First scrimmage is tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And how you've been practicing against one another for a week and a half now. So what's it to be able to play someone else?
It's a lot of fun. Like changing the person you're playing every day, getting a different experience.
Okay. All right, Steve. So let's talk about some of these other kids. And I know Reagan Flickinger's back in your program. I know she's going to be a key kid for you.
Absolutely.
Angelina Richards, Joelle Murphy. You have a couple, and talk about a couple of these freshmen. You have two really good freshmen.
Yeah, we have 2 freshmen who we expect to be in the varsity mix right away. Demaya Carter and Danny Daly, who are both very talented players, and they're working their way into the mix now.
Is the dynamic that you have with this team right now? Is this something you prefer, that you have a handful of experienced kids, and now you also have some young kids that are also ready to contribute?
Well, if you have a program, that's what you should have, right? Like, you should have a pyramid effect where you have more kids at the lower levels of your program, and you peak up to the top, and that's kind of where we are right now. And we exposed this group to a lot of competition this summer, and probably the best competition we've played in any years of my career. And they've been through a lot of challenges, and we're looking forward to get started.
Well, your 28th season for you. If I have this right, you're 25 from 600. So if you got your 600th win this year, it'd be a pretty darn good year, wouldn't it?
One heck of a year. It'd be one heck of a year.
Yeah. So you have the opener against Absegami at home. The Cape, the way it's aligned now, when you're in the top division like you are, there's some are tougher than others, but there's tough games almost every night, and I would imagine you would expect the same in the home opener.
Oh, absolutely. Absegami is a Division I point guard, right? Like that makes them competitive right away. And they have a bunch of seniors who've been around for a long time, and we've played some really close games against each other, and we need to be ready.
Okay, and you're just tell us about what's the size of your program right now? I guess how many kids do you have? I'm sure you have a full JV and all that.
Yeah, we have 20 kids in our program. we have a lot of participation, a lot of interest. I think we've set a great culture in our team, and our leaders have really taken that as key, right?
What would you say are goals for this group?
Every day be the best we possibly can be. A lot of people put emphasis on wins and losses, right? And if you really think about competition, if you're the best that you can be every day out there, things take care of themselves, right? Everybody talks about process. Well, if you're the best you can be in whatever you do every day, like you're getting someplace. And ultimately, do we want to win a Cape title? Do we want to win a state title? Yes. But your ultimate goal, those are ultimate goals, but they're results of being the best you can be every day.
Going into last year, Mainland was probably the prohibitive favorite to win the Cape.
You would think.
This year, there may be a handful of you. I mean, that might make it a little more interesting, don't you think?
It could, right? Like on any given day, I think anybody in that top division could beat anybody else. On paper, you would think Middle Township has the most back, right? So they would.
Egg Harbor Township does as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Egg Harbor, but. For them, unfortunately for them, is they're going to play in that middle division.
Right.
They're not going to be as battle tested as some of us. That may help them.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. Played a lot of these teams this summer, and we're looking forward to the competition, the challenge. Good, healthy, challenging competition.
Absolutely. Okay, so the Wildwood Catholic girls, we really appreciate you ladies and Coach coming on with us. Lily King, Lola McGonigal, Anastasia Bowman, head coach Steve DePatri. We wish you guys all of the luck in the world. And for you guys, for the girls, we would just say stay healthy. That is one of the most important things. We hope you get through the season. And no matter what happens, make sure you enjoy it, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, you got it. Thank you, girls. Thanks, Coach. You got it. Thanks for coming down. So that's the Wildwood Catholic girls, and we'll come right back momentarily. We'll have the Wildwood Catholic boys in just a moment. Okay, we are back at the Mudhen. We are in the station house at the Mudhen, and let there be sound. We are now going out over the entire building here. So we are back for the Cape Atlantic Live High School Basketball Preview Show, and right now we are with the Wildwood Catholic boys team, and we have head coach Will Wareham, and we have senior Tayshawn Jackson, junior Alex Daniel, and senior Ryan McGrath down the end. So first of all, appreciate you guys coming here as we do this every year, and thanks for supporting it. Will, we'll start with you, your third season here, and one of the things that you see with these guys, you have two kids that have been varsity basketball players since their freshman year, and so fourth year of varsity experience here. Alex has 3; he's only a junior, so that's got to make a big difference in your program here.
Absolutely, I think it's a little cliche to say, but I think you win with experience, right? Win with seniors, guys that have been there before, and I think that gives us an opportunity to be pretty good this year, to be pretty competitive. And again, it comes with these guys having the experience over the last couple of years, and obviously having a level of familiarity with me and what my expectations are, and so on.
You lost a couple of senior starters. Charlie Dunner averaged close to 15 a game, and Pat Bean, and they're both playing at the Division III college level right now. With these guys back, you have to feel like you can replace those holes.
Yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I told you that Charlie wasn't a big surprise for us last year. But the expectations I have for this group is a lot different than last year, and I think that they're going to step right in, and I think we're going to really take a leap this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Say, let's ask you, what's your thoughts on being a 4-year starter, and it's your turn to be a leader?
I think coming in as a freshman, I didn't really expect a big role, but over the years and time, I just kept growing, staying in the gym and getting better. So I think that just over the years helped me become a really good leader.
Ryan, let's go to you now. I know you've been battling some injuries. I know you haven't really practiced yet. I think you're hoping to come back this week, but big year for you as a senior. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I haven't really had much of a whole high school career my whole entire life, so I'm just trying to make this year the best year that I can be, or just try and score.
What do you see? What have you seen in practices so far? I know you're not participating, but what are you seeing looking on from the side?
I see a lot of energy, a lot of kids that want to play, want to get better, and do anything to win, and that's all I'd like to see.
All right, let's go to Alex. So pass that over to him. Alex, what are some of your thoughts as you're ready to go here? You're actually the returning leading scorer, a little over 10 a game. You were the team's leading rebounder last year at 7 a game. So what are your thoughts on what you need to do to help your team be successful?
I mean, I think I should do the same things as I did last year. I mean, just keep talking on defense and make sure I pass the ball, spread it. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure I be a leader behind Tayshawn. So that's all it is.
Will, tell us about some of the younger guys you have coming in. I know Calvin Kiker is a guard that you're excited about, but tell us about some of the other guys that maybe don't have the experience, but are going to help you this year.
So obviously you mentioned Calvin. He's going to have a huge role for us right off the bat. Peyton Rosanello will take a big jump in our lineup. Kind of going away from the young guys, we obviously have a transfer that came over from Middle Township. I think as soon as he's eligible, I would be, putting it mildly, I'm surprised how talented he is. He's going to be impactful right off the gate. He's a college level basketball player without a doubt. And then I think Chris Papa Giorgio, and you'll see my nephew Joe will get an opportunity to be in the mix from time to time. And I think we have a really good blend, really good blend between the older group who's played, like you said, these guys up here, varsity experience, 3-4 years each, and then these guys with Calvin, Peyton, Joe. Those guys are like chomping at the bit to get in the mix with those guys for sure.
Last year, 3 close losses to the Prep, 2 close losses to Ocean City. You're in a tough conference in the American, and maybe at the end of the year, the record doesn't reflect maybe what you've done and how you've played. But I would imagine you prefer it that way to get good competition night in and night out.
Absolutely. I think that we do a really good job at scheduling outside the conference as well, playing College Achieve and different teams outside the Cape Atlantic League, going to tournaments up at Barnegat and stuff like that. I think that's huge. It plays a big part. But the biggest thing, like you said, with those teams like Ocean City, St. Augie's, Middle Township, for us, a big point of emphasis obviously is to be in a position to potentially win the Cape Atlantic League or at least compete for it. South Jersey non-public B is a gauntlet with St. Rose there. So obviously, I think I've said it to you before when we talk about our expectation and our goals. If I'm telling them to you and you're not shaking your head looking at me like I'm crazy, our goals aren't big enough at that point. So I mean that's the kind of situation we want to be in. Those are the kind of games we want to play in. And the best part about us being in that top division in the Cal is I think we get tested night in and night out.
And speaking of tested night in and night out, the opener is, I know you have a scrimmage tomorrow. It's a try, but the season opener for the regular season is Tuesday the 17th at Millville. That's going to be a tough game right off the bat. Anytime you go on the road in the Cape Atlantic League to a Group 4 school.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Millville graduated one of the better players, in my opinion, in our division last year in Kalon Foster. I thought he's a really talented kid, but they always have a ton of athletes. Like you said, Group 4 school, they might have more boys in the 9th grade than we have in our entire school. So,
right.
We don't know exactly what we're going to get into. They actually do. They open up on Saturday, so we'll get an opportunity to probably see them beforehand. As a coach, I'm hoping that we're as prepared as I'd like us to be. You got that feeling, even though we're scrimmage, it's just a scrimmage tomorrow. And I told these guys at practice, I'm like, hey, we don't have enough stuff in. And you realize we've only been at it for a week now.
Yeah. And everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Right. So the Wildwood Catholic boys, we appreciate you guys coming. Ryan, Alex, stay healthy, enjoy the year, and especially for you two seniors, hopefully it's a good one for you. And Alex, enjoy it as well. Will, we as always appreciate you coming here to the Mudhen every year as we do this Cape May County High School basketball preview on Cape Atlantic Live. So the Wildwood Catholic boys, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, man.
You got it. All right, so we do want to tell you, before we step away, we do want to tell you about a few things here at the Mudhen, and we appreciate them for having us. They have opened their arms to us as we come here every year for this Cape May County High School basketball preview show. I don't know how many years in a row it is. With COVID, we missed a year, obviously, so it's hard to keep track, but it's been a nice fit for them and for us and hopefully for them as well. But they have the Henville Shopping Village here every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5. That'll be going on for the next 2 Sundays. Brunch with Santa the next 2 Sundays from 9 a.m. to 2. And then you can also do the Lynch Who Stole Christmas toy drive. Bring a toy and you'll get a token for a free draft beer here at the Mudhen. And it's decorated beautifully for Christmas and the holiday season, so make sure you come over to the Mudhen and the Station House to check it all out. So we thank everyone from Wildwood Catholic for coming on. We'll roll it along right after this, and we'll be back with the Cape Atlantic Live High School Basketball Preview Show. right, back live at the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company. I'm Brian Cunniff, Matt Ulmer handling all the video production behind the scenes. The Cape Atlantic Live Cape May County High School basketball preview show as we bring it to you live from the Mudhen each and every year at this time of year. And we appreciate the support we get, not only from the Mudhen, but from all of the players and coaches and the families. It's a busy time of year, and for everyone to come out here and do this, we really appreciate it. And now we're joined by the girls program from Cape May Tech. It's head coach Dan Loesch, and all the way down the end is, you guys are all seniors, right? Yes, Anna Delaney, Amanda Dano, and Emma Drum. So we appreciate you ladies and coach being here. So first of all, Dan, and I will say this without trying to sound disrespectful, but Cape May Tech for a lot of years has been in a perpetual state of rebuilding. And now you're kind of a little past that now. I mean, you have 3 kids that all either scored in or close to double figures that are back this year, and I know you have some much higher expectations.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just our goal. I don't take it as disrespect. I don't think any of us do. I know for many years. Our program, our school was looked at as almost just like a win on the calendar for a lot of teams, and we're trying to change that. I think we have. We won 6 games my first year here. We turned around and won 10 last year, and we hope to improve that number this year moving forward again.
So a little bit about these young ladies that are here. Emma averaged 10.7 points, 4.6 rebounds last year. Amanda averaged a little over 10, and Anna averaged 9 points and just about 4 rebounds last year. So 10 and 17 last year. That's a 4-win improvement from the year before. I would imagine you're hoping that you can improve even more this year.
Oh, absolutely. I think we all have that expectation. We have these 3 seniors here, but we have Marley Watts, who's returning as a senior for us. We have Brent Brophy, who's a senior, who's a transfer from Middle this year, along with another sophomore who's going to be starting for us and playing a lot of time for us. So that chemistry with them all together and playing well together. I think the first week of the season has shown that the years that they played together, we're going in the right direction, or where we should be going with the program. So unfortunately, we're going to lose them all this year, but if we can make some big strides this year, it can help us moving forward in the future here. So
Emma, last year you got the 3 of you, and all your returning players were part of the first ever postseason winning in school history, in program history. You beat St. Joe in an overtime game in the Cape Atlantic League tournament. What was that moment like for you guys?
It was really exciting. I think we knew we deserved that win, and I think it was just a very good moment for the whole school and the program that we're in, which was really good.
All right, Amanda, let's go to you next. This is a very good area for girls basketball. With some of the teams that we have here. So for you guys to be up and coming and hoping to have a good year, what does that mean to you guys in the program?
We definitely want to go head to head with a lot of schools around here this year. Definitely be more competitive. I feel like once you play local teams, you get a little hesitant and you choke up sometimes, and I feel like we're definitely going to be a lot stronger this year. We're going to work on new things, new plays, new everything. So we're hoping to beat some of the teams that we couldn't last year, especially lower where it was a close game.
I'm going to ask you again, Amanda. Unlike some other schools where kids are all playing with one another growing up, and this happens at Wildwood Catholic as well. But you guys are getting kids from all over the place, and maybe it takes a little bit to talk about that it maybe takes a little bit to kind of gel together.
It definitely takes a lot more. I know Anna, she's from Middle, she's from Wildwood, right? I'm from Dennis, so I didn't know either of these before high school, and you have to have that bond as well, and that comes first, and then I feel like after you learn to play as a team and everything like that. And having these 4 years, and Anna with 2, we definitely have grown since then. So I feel like it's definitely going to be a different season for us and a lot better.
Okay, Anna, coming over from Middle Township, where, I know you had a hard time as a younger player cracking their varsity lineup. You come to Cape May Tech. You're a key player right away. Talk about the experience.
Yeah, when I first came to Tech last season, it was very successful. All the girls welcomed, and I thought Daniel Loesch, our coach, he was very welcoming, and so were the other coaches. And now we have 2 new coaches. They're very helpful with us at practices, and I'm just excited to have another great season with these girls for my last year.
Emma, since you're a 4-year player, what's the difference that you see in practices in the preseason this year to maybe that you didn't see early in your career?
They've definitely improved from the years before, and I can see that we're going to be a lot more successful. And I think we've improved a lot with our skills and what we did last year. I think we're going to have a really great season.
Dan, and I know it's not the here-all, end-all on what makes a successful season, but Cape May Tech's never won a state playoff game in girls basketball. How much would that mean to your program if you can get to that point and put yourselves in that position?
Oh, it would be a huge leap forward for us, especially just here in the county alone. There's a lot of, as you just mentioned, Cape May County is a phenomenal county when it comes to basketball, and even so, for girls basketball. Guys like John from Middle and Scott from Lower, and Steve. These guys have done really well with their programs, and we just want to be able to, be on that level and almost earn the same respect at some point with some of these other programs.
Scrimmages this week. Who you have?
We have Cumberland Regional on Tuesday and Atlantic Christian on Thursday.
Okay, and then the opener is Shalleck at home on the 17th, and and I know the theme among a lot of the coaches is there's just not enough time in the preseason. How ready you think you'll be for that game?
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We still got some work we have to do. But if we can get there, get these, especially these first 2 wins under our belt for first 2 games of the season, we'll be in good shape. So.
Okay, all right. So the ladies and head coach from Cape May Tech, we appreciate you guys coming. Anna Delaney, Amanda Damo, Emma Drum, and head coach Dan Loesch. We appreciate Cape May Tech coming on, and we wish you guys the best of luck. And girls, as I say to everyone, stay healthy and enjoy it, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brian.
All right, thanks. And we'll come back momentarily. We'll bring on the Cape May Tech boys after this. This is the Cape May County High School Basketball Preview Show live at the Mudhen Brewery here in the Station House. All right, back live at the Station House here at the Mudhen Brewing Company, the Cape May County High School Basketball Preview Show live here at the Mudhen. And moving along, we bring on the boys from Cape May Tech. And this is kind of a dawn of a new day at Cape May Tech as Phil Kelly takes over as head coach. And we're also joined by a couple of seniors, Chance Ginyard, who's right to the coach's right, Alec Dooley, and assistant coach and head of security, Ray Brown, making sure everybody's taken care of today, right, Coach? Okay. All right, Phil. New coach, but you did serve as an assistant at Wildwood Catholic for a season. You obviously were a standout player at Wildwood Catholic. I know you've coached in other places. places. And having grown up here, you know the county. So talk about Cape May County High School basketball for a sec first.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Middle Township being ranked in the top 5 South Jersey, definitely a huge buzz, just in this county alone. Mm-hmm. And then rounding out the county with Wildwood Catholic is going to have some good players. Tayshawn Jackson, Ryan McGrath, Wildwood with your son. So it's exciting times for Cape May County basketball.
So you're taking over a program that obviously struggled last year. I mean, it was 2-20, but I know particularly with these two guys to your right, the one thing that I noticed as that season kind of played out last year is that there was never really a drop in energy level. I mean, they went out and played hard every night, and I would imagine that's your number one goal.
Absolutely. If you think about programs like McCracken with Wildwood and Coach Bruno with Ocean City, what I'm trying to tell these guys is that you got to go out there and you got to play hard. All right, nothing's given to you in this league, especially in the Big Five. So bring the defensive intensity every time. Bring the work ethic, bring good attitude. Great things can happen.
Chance, let's start with you. I know you're going to handle the ball a lot for this team. What are you seeing in the preseason practices so far?
I feel like we're doing good. We just need to come together a little more as the season continues on, and we need to find our identity.
Okay.
And we'll be good.
Alec, let's go over to you. I would imagine you've been playing varsity basketball for quite a few years now, and this team's probably going to lean on you a little bit. So, what do you think your role is here?
So definitely starting changing the initiative around Cape May Tech basketball for the next seasons to come is not only a big goal of mine. It's been something that's been planted around me for the last 3 seasons I played. So I feel like the most important thing I want to be a leader. I want to be a good leader for my team, for my school, and I want to set a positive example and be the best player I possibly can be while just trying to promote Cape May Tech basketball altogether.
You haven't had a lot of success, but and I know you're one of them. You continue to show up. Why is that? Is it a pride thing? Just how much you love basketball? Talk about that.
So I never really played basketball up until going to Cape May Tech.
Right.
My first year actually playing basketball was 8th grade during the COVID year in Middle Township. But just that summer, it really clicked with me, and I knew leading up to these next 4 years when I was a freshman that I can develop myself not only as a player, but just something personally for me that I can fall in love with and enjoy. So that was something big for me.
All right, let's go to your assistant coach there. Here's Ray Brown, who's you've been around a little, Ray, and this is a little different going to Cape May Tech in a program that's rebuilding. What do you see?
I definitely see there's definitely bright spots. Obviously, last year was quite a rough season for us. As a coach myself, I learned a lot from Coach Pickett and Coach Amsutz, and I'm learning a lot from Coach Kelly right now. In terms of the kids, there's definitely an upswing, and we have a lot of potential to work with, that's for sure.
Phil, having gone through Cape May County basketball yourself as a player and been around it as a coach, is that stuff you lean on in trying to speak to your kids at practice and how things need to be done?
Yes, absolutely. We're huge on player development, skill development. So we have a young team. We might have a JV team this year, which is it's going to hurt us big time. We're trying to get guys from other sports programs at Cape May Tech. Hey, look, we need 2 or 3 more players. We have a JV season, player development from within. And then we rely heavily on the senior play of Chance Ginyard and Alec Dooley.
What would goals for you be this year? We know winning a state championship is probably not one of them, but there's got to be some modest goals there.
Absolutely. I mean, to get a state playoff berth is 100% our goal of ours. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 scrimmages coming up this week. We're going to meet in a classroom for 15 minutes before practice, go over our goals. State playoff berth, 100%. Everybody makes the Cal tournament. So Senior year, I told these guys, in this era, there's no such thing as a rebuilding year. Senior year, you only get 1 chance, 1 shot, so that's it.
Talk about some of these other guys that might help you. You have a 6'1 junior in Paul Simmerman, a 6'1 junior in Emmy Sharifi, and talk about some of the other guys that are going to contribute for you.
Absolutely. Paul Simmerman, intriguing player, great size, 6'2 at the guard position. Had an excellent practice. I think it was Thursday. He shot the lights out. These guys in a 3-on-3 closeout drill. He has an amazing potential. Sharifi's, he's a soccer player, but defensive specialist. I think he'll bring the intangibles, length on, versatility, stuff like that.
Okay, so you have, you mentioned your scrimmages this week, but now you have Shalleck as the opener on the road. Thoughts on that that's on Tuesday, December 17th.
We've stressed since day one tryouts, Shalleck is a team that we can get. These guys played them last year. It was a single-digit game, I believe. So to go up there and get the opener, we've stressed that since day one. That's a gettable game. So.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we really appreciate you guys coming on, and good luck, especially to you players. Stay healthy and enjoy it. Assistant Coach Ray Brown, seniors Chance Gidner and Alec Dooley, and new head coach at Cape May Tech, Phil Kelly. So the Cape May Tech Hawks, we wish them the best of luck this season. This is the Cape Atlantic Live high school basketball preview show for Cape May County, live from the Station House in the Mudhen. We'll be right back after this. right, back live in the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company. I'm Brian Cunniff. We are live with the Cape May County High School basketball preview show here on Cape Atlantic Live. And next up here, we have the Ocean City boys to profile. We have head coach John Bruno and two of their seniors, really two of the only returning players, Ben McGonigal, who's seated to the coach's right, and Jack Porter down at the end. So first, guys, thanks for coming on. And John, let's talk to you first. You know, you've been at it for a long time now. This is your 36th year, I believe, coming up. Last year, 26-4, get to the CAL semis, lose a tough triple overtime game in the South Jersey title, but it had to be one of your more enjoyable seasons without question.
There's no doubt about that. And the four, the seniors that we had, we pretty much were like a Final Five here with Ben. We're just a joy to coach. They were talented. They worked well together. They really never quit in games. It seemed like we were behind and we'd come back and win. And win-wise, it was by far the best season we ever had.
Well, you talk about those seniors, those four starters was Corey Segich and Dylan Schlatter, and they're both playing at Widener. Charlie LeBar, Pat Grimley. That's 95% of your scoring that's gone. So that's got to be one of the biggest challenges is to find roles and find kids to put the ball in the basket.
There's no question about that. We had a pretty solid JV team. Obviously, the speed of the game, the physicality of the game will change from JV to varsity. Ben had a great catapult game in that triple overtime game with Mainland, and I think it gave him an idea of what he was capable of doing. I think he did a great job of deferring to Corey and Dylan and Charlie and those guys, and now it's his turn to step up.
If you're only going to have one starter back, how nice is it for it to be a point guard?
I think you win in high school with point guard. So last year Dylan did a great job being that point guard. Ben was like the point guard partner, and now he is the point guard. And I think you win with point guards in high school.
Ben, a lot of younger guys around you this year. You have the experience. So what's it been like in the preseason? What are you trying to do to show the way?
Yeah, I'm just trying to give a good example of how hard we need to work in practice and what we need to do to be successful this season, and I think they're ready for it.
Ocean City is a school that is used to having good teams regardless of sport, and I'm sure you're probably hearing it around the community that you're not going to be very good this year. So, and I know you're going to try to do your best to change the narrative. How important is that for you?
Oh, it's really important. I think that we'll surprise a lot of people this year for sure. We worked hard in the off season. I think it'll show.
Jack, I know you were very much a role player, some limited time last year, but how fun was that whole season last year, what you guys went through?
It was really fun. I got to see what we could have done as a team. We made it really far. We were just really good to working together and all that, and it was just fun to watch and be part of.
And now that you're going to have a more integral role, what are you trying to do for the team?
I'm just trying to provide as much as I can for the team, whether it's on the offensive or defensive side, and be a good example for the younger generation.
John, let's talk about some of those young kids, because I know even last year when we talked intermittently during the year, you were high on some of those kids playing for your JV. So give us some of those names, some of those kids that you expect to play big roles for you.
We do have one senior, Zio Wright, who really progressed. He's one of those guys that Ben was referring to, I think, really got better over the summer. The junior group, it's Luke Jumacaris and Ty Golick and Dean Lappin, Alec Bell. And we got a new player in Leon Brown, whose father was a star in the 80s for our football team, who's going to help us from EHT. So the idea is that we have to gel early in the season, and as the year goes on, we'll see how things go. But at the start of it, we're playing together well. Obviously everyone looks good in scrimmage, before they have their first scrimmage, and we'll find out during this week to see how good we can be.
Playing in this Cape Atlantic American Conference, you don't really get a chance to get a breather there. So, with a young team and playing that difficult schedule, what do you think that's going to be like, especially early?
I think that they always call it the top division, I think only because it's the top tier of 3 tiers, not necessarily always the better teams. But when you're playing Middle Township, St. Augustine, you're playing teams, Millville, you're playing teams that night in and night out are going to give you a battle. And one name I forgot to mention was our lone really young player was Josh Lenko, who's only a sophomore, who will really help us. But I think that our competitiveness in the Cape Atlantic League is what really helps us in the postseason. A lot of times people think our league is down, but our games are competitive. Mm-hmm. And so when you get to the playoffs, you want competitive games, and you're ready for that. So I think that as the year goes on, that competition that we face, if we're fortunate enough to make the playoffs, I think we can at least be competitive, which is what we hope.
I know last year you were probably more, you probably have more just sole basketball players than you've had in a while. Your program's kind of made its bones on multi-sport athletes. I guess you're probably back to that a little bit again this year?
We're back to soccer players,
right.
A couple football players.
How important is that to you?
I think it's the world. I think that we live in a world where we start specializing a little too soon, and you give me an athlete, not necessarily a basketball player, and I think that kid can be successful in your program, and that's what you want, because now the kids go from a soccer season where they were competitive, and football season where they're competitive, and you want to jump right into the basketball season with that competition.
Openers at St. Augustine Prep on Tuesday the 17th, so tough one right out of the gate.
Oh yeah, I think that's and it's Wildwood Catholic, Holy Spirit, down the road, going to come down to Wildwood here, which we always enjoy. So I'm glad that the season starts a little bit earlier. You get tested early, but it's a long season, so we hope that we just get a little bit better each week we come along.
Ben, one more for you. How would you assess your team's goals this year? I mean, what are you setting out to do?
Yeah, like Bruno said, just get better every day, every game, learn from the mistakes, and just keep working.
John, the one thing, and I know this is probably the last thing you want to talk about, but I'm going to ask you about it anyway. You come into the season here, if I have it right, you're 10 wins from 500. And I know you're going to tell me, if I ask you what's it mean, you're going to tell me it means you've been coaching a long time, but which you have. But it's got to be something you enjoy. And first, let's take you back to, when you first got the job. I would imagine that you never thought you'd be here 36 years later and have some success and keep enjoying coaching basketball.
I probably didn't think I'd be working 36 years later, let alone coaching. But I enjoy it. We have great kids. The numbers themselves, I think it does show you're around for a very long time, because one of my good friends who I coached in the 90s was Joe Fenton, and he always reminds me that I'm the losingest coach in Ocean City history too. So, he never lets me get to, but it really is a credit to the kids that have been in your program and the fact that you want to keep coaching. The fact that we've won games. You coach long enough, you might win 500 games, but do you enjoy coaching during those years? And I've enjoyed every single year from one of my favorite players, Al Gans, who's a big guy down here. I think we won 6 games, and that year was as enjoyable as any year when we won 26. So I think that's the key, just like I think with your job. If you're happy doing it, keep on doing it regardless of the outcome. Just keep trying to get better.
You're as good of a guy to ask, since you have been around for a while, your thoughts on the league and who you see around. Everybody's mentioning Middle. We're going to talk to them coming up in a little bit. But your thoughts on the league, because as you said, it's a very competitive league. Maybe it's not the greatest, but it seems like there's competitive games every night.
Oh, I think every division level has a couple of teams that are going to give problems to a team in the so-called upper division.
Right.
Abscami down in the so-called lower division really isn't a lower division to me. They're going to be very good, and I think Oakcrest has improved with Cam Warner there. Our division with Middle, and like I said, St. Augustine, you got Holy Spirit's going to get better with their young kids. Middle, to me, is the class of the whole, Cape Atlantic League. But the bottom line becomes you have to play the games every night, and if you get better, and everybody wants to make the playoffs. That's to me what the key is. I want to make the playoffs for these guys. I think the experience in the playoffs is what senior year is all about.
You've had some years. 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago. You had a year where you were under 500 in the regular season and made it to the South Jersey title. So, what do you think allows for that you can kind of put? You got there. and then all of a sudden you're making a run?
I think it's our league competition. I really do. And I think once you get to the playoffs, it really is a second season. And if you're playing well, I think a couple years back with Mainland, won the Cape Atlantic League. Nobody would have thought they were going to do it. They peaked at the right time and did well. And I think that's what you hope for. I don't really care if we win games early. I want to make sure we win games late.
Jack, one more for you. It's a little different when you come back out as a senior. I think kids being kids, you kind of take it for granted every year. Well, now this is the last of everything as a senior. So how important is it for you to make your mark, so to speak, and go out on a good note?
It's very important. Very important. It's like our last time we get to share the court together. Could be the last time I'll ever be able to play basketball. So I just gotta take every moment for granted and keep grinding to win every game we can.
John, when you, and I know you've had this before, you alluded to it earlier, when you're bringing young kids up from the JV, what kind of learning curve do you expect to be there, I guess, for a young kid coming up?
These guys sitting right next to me, I think, are the key. They're going to follow what they do. And these kids, you try to allow them to follow the lead of the other players. So they're not going to be like me. I want them to be like them. And so the whole key is to have good role models. And I think these two are excellent role models to follow for these kids because they are a competitive group, but they're young. And they'll learn. And so you allow for mistakes. You want to grow and curve of some kind as the year goes on. And then hopefully with these guys' leadership, you might have some success.
Okay. All right. We appreciate you guys coming on. Thanks for coming down. I know it's a little bit of a ride for you guys from Ocean City. Jack Porter, Ben McGonigal, two of the seniors, head coach John Bruno, the Ocean City boys basketball team. We wish you guys the best of health and the best of luck this year. Make sure you enjoy it.
Always, Brian. Thank you for all you guys do.
Thank you. All right. So we'll move it along and we'll come back right on the other side with the Ocean City girls. And this is the Cape Atlantic Live, Cape May County High School basketball preview show live at the Mudhen. We'll be back with Ocean City's girls right on the other side. All right, back live at the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company. I'm Brian Cunniff, Matt Ulmer handling the live video behind the scenes. And we are joined now by members of the Ocean City girls basketball program. And head coach Trish Henry could not make it here this evening, so she sent her trusty assistant, George McNally. I hope Trish understands that we have no idea what he may say, but no, he'll do fine. I'm sure he's been through this many times. And two of the players from Ocean City, all the way down the end, is Naomi Newihe. I think I got that right. I was close before. So Naomi Newihe and Madeline Adamson as well. And first of all, thank you, ladies, and thanks, Coach, for coming down. We know it's kind of a long ride for you to come down here to Wildwood, but we enjoy having every team from the county represented to talk high school basketball. So first of all, George, from a personal standpoint, you coach boys for such a long time, Egg Harbor Township, and now you're in a girls program as an assistant. The difference between leading boys and girls, is it that different, or is it not?
No, I don't think so. But actually, even before I did boys, I was the assistant coach at Ocean City girls for 3 years when Trish was playing.
Was a player, yeah.
Here's the thing that's nice. It's a great coaching staff and great kids, and it is nice to be able to come down from my room finally and just walk to the gym instead of jumping in a car and driving 20 minutes. So, but it has been nice, and the girls are great and working hard.
First, let's talk about the two ladies here, because we have two of the better athletes from the Cape Atlantic League. And first of all, Naomi, we want to congratulate you on a terrific soccer season. You guys won the Cape Atlantic League playoff tournament. Got to a South Jersey final, and most congratulations to you. You're headed to Brown University next year to play soccer. So not only are you a terrific athlete, you're certainly smarter than the two men sitting at the table, probably combined. So congratulations on all that. And I know you did not play basketball last year. I know you were concentrating more on soccer and whatnot, and now you're coming back this year. So how excited are you to get back on the court and contribute to the program?
I'm just really excited because I've always loved basketball. It's always been like my second sport, so I was kind of bummed I couldn't play last year because I was focused on like committing and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm just ready to be back on the court this year.
Your soccer stuff is out of the way. You have your college picked, and you know where you're going, and you know your immediate future. So how much does that make it a little more stress-free, so to speak, as you enter basketball season?
It helps me because I can kind of take the winter like off of soccer, and I can actually focus on putting in work with the basketball instead of like splitting time. So it's definitely a lot less stressful than if I had played last year.
And Madeline, we'll go to you, and congratulations to you, because you're going to go play for your former coach in Stephanie Gately up at Division I Fairleigh Dickinson. First of all, talk about having the opportunity to play Division I basketball.
I'm so excited. It's such a blessing, and I've worked really hard over the past couple of years, and it's just really, I'm just so blessed to have this opportunity, and I'm really excited for it.
Now we do obviously have to talk about a kind of a sad situation. You hurt your knee over the summer. You're not going to play this year. You would have been the returning leading scorer for Ocean City. What is your role now? I mean, I'm sure you're around the program and whatnot. What are you trying to do to help the other kids while you're out?
I just feel like I haven't skipped a beat. I'm kind of at every practice, will be at every game, every scrimmage, and I just want to make it a point to be there with the girls. Like this, while I'm not playing on the court, I want to be a voice, be with the girls off the court.
Have you thought about coaching for your future?
It's definitely at the back of my mind. It's definitely a possibility.
This year will certainly help you in that regard. George, the team last year, 7-18 probably doesn't do the talent level of the program justice. Such a hard schedule in that American Conference. But talk about last year, a lot of young kids, and unfortunately won't have Madeline this year, but you do get Naomi back. So do you feel like you're better positioned?
Well, we're definitely ahead. There's no question about that. Practices, we're able to do things that we just were teaching last year. So now, through work in the summer and what we've done, but at the end of that last year, we started playing some really good basketball. Heck, I think we were up 1 to Clearview in the fourth quarter in the first round of playoffs, and they were one of the higher ranked teams. So they really have made strides, and every day we get better. We're learning a little bit more. It'll be interesting tomorrow when we go up to Shawnee to see that first scrimmage. But we're expecting things. For this year, we're going into the first scrimmage for stuff we didn't even have until maybe our 5th or 6th game last year.
Right.
So way ahead.
Talk about some of the younger kids that are expected to contribute to the varsity this year.
All right, now they're going to help me in case I forget something.
Yes.
But you got Allie Hudson, who came back. She started most games last year, I think. She'll handle the ball for us a lot. Gabby Henry's in there too. Kaya Chu has had a great summer shooting the ball. Obviously, Naomi's there. We have Marley Ostrainer, who was the freshman starter for us last year, very athletic. We have a lot of two-sport kids. So Marley's lacrosse. We got a bunch of soccer players. So there's kids that bring in lots of different backgrounds. Like we were doing a drill with Naomi yesterday at practice, and I said, "This is a little harder what you did in soccer." And she was a little gassed at the end of it. So it's neat, and it's fun to see it build, and we're excited to see where it goes.
John talked about this when we talked to the boys, but it's always been a staple with girls basketball at Ocean City as well. That's always been kind of the identity of the program, is that the multi-sport athletes, tough kids. How much do you believe that helps? And I'm sure back to your days of being a head coach at EHC, you loved having multi-sport athletes.
It was great, and Naomi said it perfectly. She now takes a season off from soccer. She's working the muscles differently. She's going to be conditioned differently. Now we're going to see her jump on those head balls in college now after the one drill we were doing yesterday. So it is neat, and I can't. They are so positive, and they're working hard, and everyone's positive. And it's nice. It's nice to go to practice. I was telling them yesterday, I love Saturday morning practices. They looked at me like I was crazy, but we had a good couple hours in there, and we're looking forward to tomorrow.
Naomi, was this always the plan for you to come back as a senior and play, or was it something that maybe you thought you had to give it up?
I wanted it to be the plan, but my parents were a little skeptical because they were like, they don't want me to get hurt. They don't want anything bad to happen. So knock on wood, but I convinced them. I always wanted to play basketball.
And she did play with us each summer, so she was always there in the summer, and that helped. Now she's not starting from ground zero.
Madeline, your experience at Ocean City, when you, I guess as a sophomore, you had a very good team. Last year, some struggles. Just talk about, and we know you're not going to get your senior year here because of the injury, but, being able to play at Ocean City and experience the things you did.
It's been I've had such a fun ride with this team, freshman to senior year. I am the person I am because of these programs and these sports at this school. So not only the success we've had on the court or on the field, but the lessons I learned, the relationships I've made, the coaches I've had, it's all been such a blessing, and it's just been such a fun ride. And
we're hoping that the prognosis for you when you're finished your rehab and everything else, you'll be 100% good to go.
Yep.
Good for you. And how much are you looking forward to getting up to FDU and continuing your basketball career?
I'm excited, but I'm more focused right now on our season and being with the girls this season, focusing on my rehab, not looking too far ahead, and just being present with the girls because it's our last ride senior year. So Naomi and I want to make the most of it.
George, I would imagine that the goals for this team is to severely or significantly improve that win total from last year.
Oh, there's no question. We'd like to get a home game in the playoffs. There's no question about that. Progressing in the Cape Atlantic League, but it starts with tomorrow. One step at a time. We have to see as what we can do and what we have to work on. And as long as the attitudes stay good. And I did mention a couple of kids like Scarlett Fletcher. Who else to leave out there, ladies?
CC
Mursky. They're the only two seniors, so it's a very young group. The sophomore group, their freshman group from last year has really progressed well. So we think we're gotten better, and I guess we're going to find out when we start playing the games.
Do you see the younger girls looking up to you, Naomi?
I mean, I don't know. I don't like focus on that. I don't know if I'm much of a role model. I'm not the biggest basketball person. They're probably better technically, fundamentally than me, but I just try to always work hard for every ball.
I think the coaches around the Cape Atlantic League are probably going to go back and say Naomi's making comments that other kids are technically better when Naomi goes and tears them up for about 15 points and 38 rebounds in a game, right, George?
Fantastic athlete, I can tell you that.
Playing at Ocean City, and either of you can answer this. We see a high school that has very competitive programs across the board. Your fall sports are incredible, especially. But how important is it to kind of hold up your end and continue it with basketball, with the success that the other programs have?
Well, I think at Ocean City, our winter sports, historically, have kind of, like you said, categorized us and, really, we've made our name with our winter sports, too. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's our job, as seniors and as, leaders in the program to really uphold those standards of, winning, positivity, excellence, and really just focusing on getting 1% better every day to make sure we hold up that Ocean City standard.
George, to have a long career as a head boys coach and now as an assistant, and I know you said it's much easier walking down the hall than it is to get into a car and drive to another school, but to be involved in it this long, just talk about how much you love being around high school basketball in this area.
Well, it's neat, and I got to say, the other coaches, they're Trish, Sue Rapetti, Jay Connell, and then Sean McLaughlin-Slattery. Mm-hmm. They're awesome, too. You should come see Sean still play. She's fantastic.
Yes.
The whole thing's nice. The kids, we need to get our back gym back. We only have one gym right now. That's handcuffing us a little bit right now. But we have the Civic Center down the street for the young kids. It's fun. It's fun. There's no yelling. We were just talking up here the other day. I said, "Oh, that was terrible," and someone said, "Oh, you just yelled at them." I said, "I didn't yell. I just told them it wasn't very good."
Right.
And they got better. And that's the thing. They just want to keep working. And there's no stress. There's no yelling. Just come in every day to get better.
All right, well, listen, ladies, we appreciate you guys coming down, and Coach, you as well. And again, we know it's a long ride for you guys from Ocean City, but we appreciate you coming down here to the Mudhen. And Madeline, best of luck on your rehab and going forward. And Naomi, have a great basketball season, and we all can't wait to see what you do in college as well. So, Naomi Newihe, Madeline Adamson, and assistant coach George McNally for Trish Henry, who could not make it tonight. We appreciate the Ocean City girls for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And good luck to you.
All right, Brett.
All right, and we'll be right, back live at the Mudhen Cape May County High School basketball preview show here on Cape Atlantic Live. We appreciate everyone joining us live here at the Mudhen, and we do want to mention some of the things the Mudhen has going on this holiday season. They have the Henville Shopping Village each Sunday, the next 2 Sundays before Christmas, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Brunch with Santa, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. each of the next 2 Sundays. And don't forget about the Lynch Who Stole Christmas toy drive. That goes daily through the 22nd of December. You can drop off a wrapped toy, or an unwrapped toy, excuse me, and they'll give you a token for a free draft beer here. So lots going on, and of course they have the grounds and everything decorated for the holidays. It is beautiful here. So we move along, and we have the Lower Cape May girls here, represented by head coach Scott Douglas, sophomore Brooke Robinson, senior Alex Vogt, and sophomore Savannah Wareham. And no truth to the rumor that these girls are absolutely terrified to be up here, but we're going to make it nice and easy for you. So Scott, first of all, congratulations on last season. Terrific year for you guys. 19-7, one-year conference. Had to be very rewarding. From where you've brought the program from to do what you did last year.
Yeah, it was nice. It was I would say it was a pleasant surprise. But we got the work in. We worked in the summertime before last year, and the work paid off. Sometimes the schedule helps, but you play the teams that are on your schedule, and we came on top. Most of the time.
And I know, the ultimate goal for everyone is to win a state title, win your last game. It's unrealistic for 95% of the teams, but you want a state playoff game. And then you gave your girls the experience of playing against someone they're going to see on TV at some point in Devin Quigley and Manchester Township. So what was that like as well, just your state playoff experience?
Oh, it was. We always say one of our goals is to host a state tournament game. That is one of our main goals. We accomplished that. We won that, and then we had to go. They were a juggernaut, but it was a nice experience to see a Division I quality athlete first of all, and basketball player second, and these girls got to see that what it takes.
Okay, so you lost a few key players, but 2 of them were your leading scorers, Haley Elwell and Caitlin McGuigan. They're both college athletes. Haley's playing tennis and Caitlin's playing basketball. They're both at Immaculata, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you beyond the scoring, to lose that ball handling has to be something your biggest issue to replace, and probably what you're working on the most, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin probably handled the ball 85% of the time for us. And when you take that out, like Coach Bruno said, it starts with a point guard. So we've been working with some girls at that table, Savannah up here. So we're hoping we can come back with that type of ball handling. Besides Caitlin and Haley, we lost 4 other seniors.
Right.
We had a couple girls, potential starters, two potential starters that decided not to come out for the team this year. So that would be 8 out of our top 14 or 15 last year. So we kind of started some things small, in practice, and point guard is number 1 spot that you gotta have.
Alex, let's go to you first, since you are one of the few older players on the team, and you've played a few years now. What's your experience like when playing high school basketball?
Coming into high school, I was going through a lot, and basketball kind of brought out my happiness and everything back into basketball. And growing up with the girls on the team, it made me realize basketball is bigger than a lot of things. You guys bond together, you become a family.
are you, because I'm sure they're looking for you to do this leadership role this year. How are you embracing that?
I'm just trying to be like a leader for everybody. I'm trying to help the younger girls and encourage them that like it's going to take time to get better and to get where they want to be, but you just got to put in the work every day.
Brooke, little learning curve for you early in the year, and then by the end of the year, we all watched you come on and really become a contributor. I know you were the team's leading rebounder, almost 9 a game. You had some big offensive games as well. How much more prepared do you think you are now as a sophomore compared to when you came in as a freshman last year?
I mean, I think I'm very prepared. I spent a lot of time this summer working out and getting better, and I think there's a lot of younger girls, and I think I want to be someone they look up to and just keep working hard as a team to get better this season.
Okay. All right, Savannah, you're going to have, as your coach said, you're going to be one of the girls going to have the ball in your hands a lot. And I know you played a little bit of varsity last year as a freshman. How much did that help you, even the limited time you got, just to be able to see the speed of the game and whatnot?
It definitely helped a lot, and it was like a learning experience for me, like to watch the other girls. So I think this year I just have to continue to work hard, look to score more, because we did lose a couple of our main scorers.
Is with your family, your dad and your uncle and everybody's involved with basket. Do you guys talk about anything but basketball at home? I'm just kidding. Scott, talk about some of the, and you have some of them here. Talk about some of the other girls that are going to be key to your program and are going to play some significant roles for you.
So at the table there, we got Bernadette Erb. She's a senior this year. Meredith Luchin. She's a junior. Naran Mustafa is a junior, and Lex Dominowski, she's a freshman. So all 4 of them will be getting minutes this year. 2 of them have potential starting roles. We also have Kaylee De Leon. She'll be pushing for some minutes.
There's a big challenge this year. I mean, the way the Cape Atlantic League is, it's almost turned into what they do in professional soccer in Europe. You win, you get promoted. You finish last, you get relegated. So you win, you get promoted to the national conference. It's not necessarily fair because now you come in with a much younger team, and now you're playing, in theory, more difficult competition. So, but what's the challenge of moving up to the national conference with this group?
Well, I think the teams that I look at, in our conference now are probably physical, probably depth. A couple bigger schools now with depth, so now you have 5 or 6 people coming off the bench that are quality players. Of course, Egg Harbor is probably one of the better teams in the CAL this year. So that's a challenge, but we also look forward to it. We haven't played Ocean City in a couple years now.
Yeah.
And that's our first game of the year. So that's we like it. Hey, we were 12-0 last year in our division. We won our division. You have that responsibility to move up. So we're not going to cry about it. We're going to take it how it is.
You've been involved here with Lower Cape May girls basketball for a while. 2 different stints as head coach, and Lower, much kind of like your boys program, how it runs in cycles. You have your uptime, your downtime, but how enjoyable is it to when you get a group of young players in and you try to build for something, and you have a year like you did last year, or a year like you did with Lauren Holden when you win a South Jersey title, which is incredible to think that it's almost 10 years ago now. But it means we're really getting old. but anyway, when you take and I'm not using this as trying to just compare to different schools or whatever, but when you take your neighborhood kids and you build with them, how much do you enjoy that?
Well, first I think a lot of coaches will tell you, maybe when you come into the season as the little underdog role, or the girls that you've seen since junior high come up into your program, it's totally different than having something that that is, you're a favorite, or you had girls just come in and step right in, and they were supposed to be stars.
Right.
So I think like this year, I talk to my wife every night I go home about basketball, and I've come home. We've had 7-8 practices, six or seven. I've come home every night and said, "This is an enjoyable team. This is it's a little different." And not putting other teams down that I've had enjoyable teams, but just something about this group.
Well, girls, I see you all nodding your heads, so anyone can answer this. And kids usually don't talk about this, usually don't say this. It sounds like you're actually having fun at practice, so talk about that. Any one of you, go ahead.
Coming into practice every day, sometimes we don't want to be there, but as soon as we start going and we start like all getting together, like practice everything, we all kind of are laughing, having fun, but like still putting in the work every day, and like encouraging all the younger girls to like push harder every day to work better.
Brooke, I know your family's got a history of athletic success at Lower Cape May, so I'm sure you hear it at home, from your father and whatnot, who's a really good baseball player. What kind of guidance how does that help you?
My father, he always just pushed me to play my hardest. He's not always expecting me to be perfect, but he just wants me to go and help my team any way I can, and just always play the hardest I can.
Savannah, how excited are you now to, Brooke and Alex played a lot last year, and you played a decent amount, but now you're going to play a lot, and to have that extra opportunity, how much are you looking forward to it?
I'm really looking forward to it, and just to see what the season holds for all of us. I think we're going to have good opportunities, and we can definitely compete in our division this year.
All right, so Scott, what would some of the goals be? I know you're not going to give me a win total or anything, but what would you like to see out of this group?
Well, we always say get better every day. Maybe beat the teams that you're supposed to on paper. Against everybody else, go into that fourth quarter
with a shot,
with a chance of winning.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask. It doesn't matter about wins or losses. You go into every fourth quarter with a chance to win. Man, it as a coach, that's the ultimate thing. So before we wrap up, we want to say we miss Buddy, Brian, and
we do.
I know it's probably pretty hard for you doing it up here without him.
Well, the one thing we do want to say is that Buddy used to fill a lot of airtime. He enjoyed this as much as anybody, and anybody out there that most people probably know. We did lose Buddy over the summer after a long illness, so he is certainly sorely missed here at Cape Atlantic Live, and particularly this night and all the games that we do on the air. So it'll be it's a little weird not to have him sitting down the other end, and I appreciate you bringing that up. So the Lower Cape May girls basketball team, first and foremost, ladies, stay healthy, make sure you enjoy it, and good luck this season, okay? Thanks for joining us. So Savannah Wareham, Alex Vogt, Brooke Robinson, head coach Scott Douglas, Lower Cape May girls, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back with the Lower boys on the other side. High school basketball preview show live from the station house at the Mudhen Brewing Company. All right, back live at the Station House at the Mudhen Brewing Company. I'm Brian Cunniff, Matt Ulmer handling the video production behind the scenes. This is the Cape Atlantic Live Cape May County High School basketball preview show. We do this every year from the Mudhen. We thank the good people at the Mudhen for having us, and they put us in this beautiful new room here at the Station House. If you haven't been here before, make sure you come check it out. So now we're joined by the Lower Cape May boys team, head coach Scott Holden, senior Mason Cronin, senior Braden Mello, junior Ty Bonner, and we appreciate you guys coming on here. And first of all, Scott, congratulations on a terrific season last year, 21-7, won the United Conference, got to the second round of the South Jersey Group 2 tournament, got to play at the Hoosiers gym at Haddonfield. So first, talk about the season last year.
It was a tremendous season. We had to come up with a different style of play. The kids really bought into it, and I think it was an exciting style, and that kind of turned some of the games in our favor and led to me, a little bit of a surprise season.
To go, it was the third tier of the Cape Atlantic League, but to go undefeated in your conference, that had to give you a nice sense of pride there, to win the conference and go undefeated in doing it.
Yeah, I thought with the professionalism of the team and the guys really wanting that goal of making sure, like there was a period where we had it maybe wrapped up, but I was like, let's finish this out and make sure we, something to hang our hat on.
And I know you're a big soccer fan, so you can appreciate the analogy. Now you've been promoted. You're in the national conference, which in theory will be a little bit tougher. So talk about that as the first challenge.
I definitely think game in, game out is definitely more of a challenge. We're certainly ready for it. We all these teams know each other. We know what we're up against, and these guys want to, carry that on to this season and try to emulate what we did last year.
Everyone knows about Ty's older brother Mackie, who's going to play college lacrosse in the spring. 1,000-point scorer, averaged 17 a game. Really, probably had one of the great individual seasons in recent program history. He's gone, but you also lost a couple of other kids in Ogre Nunez, Ari Wright. These are three multi-year starters for you. So those are big holes to replace, right?
Yes, we actually talked about it at a team meeting about where these guys. We also had 8 or 9 guys that played regularly last year, so we will miss those 3. But we have a lot of experience coming up, and they just need to play that much better a year on. But replacing 3 guys that were 4-year varsity players is definitely tough. But again, these guys are up for the challenge.
Ty, we'll start with you. Leading returning scorer, 13 points a game last year. Your brother's gone; those other seniors are gone. You're going to be looked at as one of the top guys. What's the challenge for you here?
It's going to be hard, but I think I'm ready to step up for the challenge.
What do you like? What have you seen so far in the preseason?
We're looking good. I think we're going to be good. We're ready to play. We have a lot of guys that are going to step up this year. It's going to be good.
Okay, so let's go to Braden real quick. Braden, you were a guy last year. I know you started some games, came off the bench in others. Some games you played 20-some minutes. Others you might have played 10. What was that role like for you, last year?
It was, I had to fill my position and I had to give my minutes, and I try to do what I was coached to do, and I try to play my role.
Senior year now, so how important is this? How important is this for you going forward? As your final year here.
Basketball has been a big part of my life for a really long time, and it's really huge for me.
All right, Mason, let's go to you. You're a senior who's been in the program for a while. I know you were in the rotation last year. Your coach has always said to me when we've been together that how much he's seen you improve and how you can help the program. What's it like for you now as a senior, and you're really the lone true big guy. So what do you think of your role?
It's a little rough, but
everyone helps each other out. Like, we rebound very well. Everybody's got to rebound. It's not just me. We're very excited.
What kind of season do you think you can have, maybe compared to last season? Because I'm sure there's people out there saying, Mackey's gone, those guys are gone, you're not going to be as good. What do you say to that?
I think we can be the same as last year or even better, honestly.
Scott, why don't you tell us about some of the younger guys and some of the other guys? Some of them are here. John Fernandez, I think, is running for mayor. He's over there working the room. But talk about some of these other younger guys that you know are going to be in your mix.
Again, John, a returning starter. We've got Cole Cedarland, got some time last year as a freshman. We got Ryan Mound over there, who did not play as a freshman because he had a broken bone. And those guys are going to be asked to contribute and take over those spots of those seniors that we lost.
I'll ask you the same question I asked Scott Douglas, your girls coach, because this seems to be kind of the way the program works at Lower Cape May. You just you get waves of players in and you kind of build it. You generally don't have a lot of transiency within your program. You start with young kids and they build, and I'm sure you enjoy that.
I do. It seems like every year we have freshmen that are contributing. And I think we've been doing it so long that the guys just understand, that I don't look at your age. I don't look at what grade you're in. If you can contribute and do stuff, that you're a varsity player, you're a varsity player.
Last year, with an undersized lineup, you were probably one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the Cape Atlantic League. I think opponents thought that you were actually bringing kids off the bench when the shot went up to go after the ball. Do you see yourselves playing the same kind of style this year?
Yes, we definitely have to. There's three areas that we kind of concentrate in: rebounding, obviously, one, up tempo, and pressure. So we have basically a mirror team from last year. And again, a lot of experience with doing that type of style. So we'll be staying with it.
Nice to be able to play, and I know sometimes you would cross over anyway, but nice to be able to play different teams. You're moving up to the national conference.
Yeah, it's we did play Atlantic City last year, but I haven't seen Bridgeton in a while. And a couple other teams. I haven't seen Cedar Creek in a while. So yeah, it's nice. And again, we all know each other, but to have a couple games this year, home and away will be a good way to go.
All right, you open up against ACIT. That will be a pretty challenging opener. That is a game that we will carry live on Cape Atlantic Live. ACIT at Lower Cape May, season opener on Tuesday, the 17th. So I guess about 9 or 10 days from now. First of all, do you think? And I think everybody says the same thing. No one feels like they're going to be ready because the preseason anymore is just so short. But it's kind of a tricky game right out of the gate. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. We've seen them 3 times in the summer and fall. I think Byron does a good job. He always has them ready to play. They're physical, they're competitive. But I know we are as well, and we're going to step up for it.
15 years here at Lower Cape May now as head coach. And I know a few years ago you almost stepped aside, but now you just seem to keep on going.
Yeah, not much to say.
But speaking of that part, one of the things that you've always talked about, maybe not so much to the media, but privately, is about having the type of experience you have on your bench. With Champ McGaffney and Rocco Sansone and your brother Pat. These are guys that were all not only head coaches, but longtime head coaches at different programs. Champ was at Lower and Catholic. Your brother was at Lower. Rocco was at Wildwood. That has to be invaluable.
Absolutely. You walk into a practice, sometimes you won't even know who the head coach is. My brother's very good with individual improvement and other things and pointing things out. I'll have my say in here. Mr. McGaffney, who was my high school coach, he'll be in there. And on top of that, we got a guy that moved down from, he's a team favorite, Coach Tom Durso. He 35 years as an assistant coach up at Massachusetts, and he brings a different vibe as well.
All right, well, listen, we appreciate you guys coming here tonight. And so Ty Bonner, Braden Mello, Mason Cronin, good luck this year. Stay healthy. Have fun. Make sure you enjoy it. Head coach Scott Holden, thanks for coming on. The Lower Cape May Regional Boys, we appreciate you guys coming, and good luck this year.
Thank you.
All right, so we thank them for coming here to the Mudhen, and we will continue on in a little bit, but we do want to mention, we do have, we mentioned the opener against ACIT with Lower Cape May. We will have, we're going to post this soon, we're going to have close to a 30-game schedule this year on Cape Atlantic Live that we'll be covering games. We're covering numerous ones at the Boardwalk Basketball Classic. That tournament now is being played out over 8 days at the Wildwoods Convention Center. You can check everything out there at bbclassic.com. It should be a real fun basketball season coming up. We have Middle Township coming up next, and we'll be back with them as we move it along here. The Cape Atlantic Live, Cape May County High School basketball preview show live from the station house at the Mudhen, and we'll be back on the other side. Back live at the station house at the Mudhen. I'm Brian Cunniff, Cape Atlantic Live high school basketball preview show here in Cape May County. We do this every year. It's always a lot of fun, and we appreciate the good people from the Mudhen for having us every year. Now we're joined by the girls program from Middle Township, and we have head coach John Leahy, and then going from his right, junior Abby Capoletti, senior Mackenzie Palak, senior Izzy Toland, and junior Reagan Powell, all the way down at the end. So ladies and coach, thanks for coming over. We appreciate you being here at a very busy time. So,
got it, no problem.
John, another South Jersey championship last year, and I know you couldn't have been more proud of that group you had because 2 years in a row overcoming some adversity. Mackenzie's older sister got hurt, and you still figured out a way to win that sectional title.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately you deal with adversity every season, whether it's injuries or foul trouble or people getting sick or whatever. We've unfortunately kind of gotten used to it, so let's hope that we don't have any injuries this year. But our group, I'm super proud of my kids, what we've been able to accomplish the last couple of years, and we just got to stick together and keep getting better.
You have four here that were played big roles in that. In that run last year, so you have to feel good about having that type of experience.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly helps. I mean, we have 4 or 5 kids back that all played significant minutes last season, so we're really going to lean on them. They're going to be kind of the core of our team this season for sure. So it's just like any other year. You need your returning kids to kind of embrace and take on a bigger role, and then bring along some of the kids that don't have as much experience and kind of figure it out as we go, and kind of define roles and figure out ways to win. And the goal every year is just to get better and better as we go, and then hopefully be playing your best at the end.
Jumping back to last year's South Jersey Championship, it was a little bit of a different scenario. And speaking of adversity, the NJSI, we talked about this last year. The NJSI changed the way they scheduled the state tournament, and girls and boys finals are on the same day. You had your boys team playing in a South Jersey final at home. You had to go all the way to Cinnaminson. You probably only had 30 fans in the stands. You had to play a really good team in a packed gym, obviously in their house. That's about as good of a win as you can get, isn't it?
Well, for sure. And I don't think there's any question that our league prepared us for that.
Mm-hmm.
Our league is very, very difficult, especially when you go on the road. Like every year, we'll be playing a very, very challenging, difficult schedule. As Coach Farraco always said to us, years ago, you got to be battle tested. Whether or not you got to play at home or play on the road, you got to be battle tested. And last year we showed that we were. I don't know if the state changed that, but if they haven't, I'd love to have the same problem.
Yeah.
It means that the boys and the girls are both in the finals.
True.
So let's hope we have the same problem again. But yeah, that was, it was obviously a great win, and hopefully we can get back to it.
All right, so let's start with the seniors here. As I know you're going to play college basketball. Why don't you talk about that first? So congratulations, you're going to play at the Division III level.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So I committed to Wilkes University, and initially I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue my career just because, I don't know, I just didn't know if I wanted to have a commitment like that. But I talked to Coach Leahy, and he really just turned me in the right direction and wanted the best for me, and told me that I should continue playing. So that kind of motivated me to want to play even more. So I'm excited to continue my career.
I talked about this with some of the other kids earlier today, but and a lot of players will say this. It's a little different as a senior, isn't it? Because you walk in the gym for that first practice. This is your last first practice, so you're going to see a lot of last this year. So, how important is it for you to get the most out of this season, whatever it may bring?
I just think every day going into another practice, it's like going to be one of my last practices. So I'm just trying to make the most of it and spend as much time with the girls as possible. And even outside of basketball, just hang out with them so I can just make the most before I go away to college.
Okay, and Mackenzie, let's start with you, or let's move to you. And soccer the last couple of years, playing goalie and picking up a different sport. But now, I know this is your favorite one or most important one. So, I'm sure you're looking to defend that South Jersey title. Just talk about your mindset starting the year here.
I think we have a lot of returning talent and a lot of good players that are stepping up and taking roles of people that they need to fill the spots of. And I think everybody is doing a great job of that. I think there's going to be no problem with that, and I think we could win another one, which is what we're hoping for, so we're all going to work towards that.
Your senior year now, I mean, you come from an incredibly passionate basketball family. Your mom and dad have been in gyms forever as players, as fans, as parents. Your older sister, your older brother is playing in college, your older sister is playing in college. I'm sure you're looking to do the same thing. How's that journey been, with your entire family, so to speak?
It definitely is a big motivation to me to know that I have all these basketball players surrounded by me and encouraging me. My parents have definitely helped me, obviously being my coaches and just growing up with that basketball family, like you said. It's definitely helped me and pushed me farther every day, and it has definitely helped me get better.
All right, so let's go to the one that really burst on the scene toward the end of the year last year. So we'll go to Reagan down there, and I know you were more of a role player earlier in the year, so to speak. You got better as the season went on, and then when Madison went out, it just seemed like your game elevated to a different level. How much fun was last season for you? I mean, really, as your first full-time varsity season.
It was great. It was definitely very challenging in the beginning, like getting used to like pacing and stuff of the varsity game. But yeah, I just took the time to like really focus on the little things, especially because my coach expected a lot of me after Madison got hurt. And I knew I had to be on my best game to make sure that we can win for the rest of the season. What
do you like about playing basketball at Middle?
It's great. I love the connections that I've made from it, definitely, especially transferring here freshman year. I've made great friendships on and off the court, and it's just amazing to play for this program.
All right, so Abby, we'll go to you. There were so many really good players in this program. Your older sister was here last year, these three girls, some other kids. But when you guys needed to make a shot against Absegami last year at the end, your coach ran the play for you. How did that make you feel when at least it looked like he ran the play for you? It certainly looked that way. So, how did that make you feel in terms of, Coach drew that up for you and you had to know that you were a big part of this team?
It felt really good, those times come all the time, and the fact that he chose me to make that shot, I was happy. But yeah, you just always have to be ready for those moments.
And speaking of those moments, you're most likely going to take on a bigger role this year. So how much are you looking forward to it?
I'm really looking forward to it. The team looks really good this year, and we just have to focus on one game at a time to get to that last one.
John, so we have these four, but why don't you talk about some of the other kids, because I know there's a handful more that are certainly going to help out your program.
Well, for the record, on that last play, we ran it perfectly. Ken's waited for the screen. She ball faked. We re-screened, and she was wide open. So it was definitely, right? Ken's did all the little things the right way, right? So they definitely made me look good on that. But, no, we definitely have, like I said, these four and Sarah Farrow are really the five that played a lot of minutes last year. So it's really going to be for us trying to figure out kind of 6, 7, 8, and maybe even 9, 10, But we have some of our juniors, Maya Robinson and Lexi Davis, I think could take on roles. And some of our younger guards, Ainsley Frederick actually played a couple of minutes at the end of last season. As a freshman. She's now a sophomore. So we have some of our younger kids. Hannah O'Neill's a freshman that's come in that's played very well so far. So, I mean, I think Allie Nagel is another one that's, a sophomore that could get in the mix. So I think that, it makes our practices super, super competitive. We've talked about that. I mean, it's always been that way. But, this year in particular, I mean, every day is a competition, and so we really don't know. And that's why, we have 3 scrimmages this week. So that'll be a really, really good way for us to kind of assess and see kind of who fits where and who might be able to contribute in different roles. And like every season, we'll kind of figure it out as we go, and hopefully individually and as a group we get better and better.
I'll put you on the spot here. There's a very good chance here you're going to get your 400th career win this year. You're coming up on it. What's it mean to you that, obviously there's a longevity thing there, but obviously you've had some really good kids help you get that number.
I've coached great kids. I'm super lucky. I have great assistant coaches. I probably don't tell them enough, but Brandy and Bryn are fantastic. And this is same thing that Coach Farraco always talked about. It's our program, so it's really was never about him. It's not about me. It's about everybody, and it really is a collaborative effort between players, coaches, the administration, the fans, everybody to kind of put together, a program that we've tried to hold to very high standards, and fortunately, we've been able to do that. We've found ways to not only win, but sustain winning. Brandy and I talked when I first took over about trying to average 20 wins a season. Mm-hmm. So COVID threw us back a little bit, but we're actually not that far away. The 400 will be nice. I really hope we do get there, but we're not that far away.
No, you're not that far away.
How many are we away? I don't even know.
Someone tried to tell me today you were 8. I have you 6 away. So we have to figure out. We have to figure out what's right.
I don't know. We'll just take one game at a time. Whenever we get there, we get there. But yeah, super, super proud of our program. I've coached some fantastic kids, and super, super lucky. And I want to make this group a special group, and hopefully our seniors can go out with another championship.
Absolutely. Okay, so and Middle opens on the 17th at Atlantic City. That'll be a tough opener. They're an improved team. Yep. But girls, we wish you all the luck. Stay healthy and make sure you enjoy it. Coach John Leahy, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, so that's the Middle Township girls here at the Cape Atlantic Live. Cape May County High School basketball preview, and we'll be back on the other side with the Middle Township boys. Back at the Mudhen for the Cape May County High School Basketball Preview Show here on Cape Atlantic Live. We are now joined by members of the Middle Township High School Boys Basketball Program. We have head coach Lamar Greer all the way down the end. We have senior Jameer McNeil. We have senior Amir Elston, senior Aiden Howe, and junior Chase Moore. And thank you guys for coming down here. And I'm just glad, Lamar, that you finally have some kids you can trust to speak. I know in the past you always came by yourself. You always said, I'm afraid of what anybody might say.
The crew that just left us, man, they were a crew with a lot of characters. We had to, you can't take them everywhere, but we love them to death and we're missing them.
Yes. All right, so first let's recap last year. It was a special year for you guys, 28-3. I know you didn't get the ultimate prize at the end, which was a state title. Lost in the South Jersey final to an all-time great Camden team, but you won the Cape Atlantic League playoff tournament and kind of really reestablished Middle Township as one of the great powers down here in South Jersey and the Cape Atlantic League. So you had to be happy with what you did.
Yeah, we kind of are, but the standard at Middle is just the standard. We won state championship, so we're highly motivated. We still feel like we're the hunter because we still haven't achieved what we wanted to achieve. And on a bigger scale of things, we still got to get 2 guys into school. And us winning will help them get into school.
Right.
So we're focused and we still feel like hunters.
So you have these 4 guys here, and you have a couple of newcomers, some sophomores coming in, transferring. Mason Morawski, is it Kanye?
Yes,
Kanye Perkins,
yes.
Who's a 6'7" kid. And talk about some of the other guys that are in the mix besides these guys.
We're still missing Mikey Farrell. That's another kid that's going to help us a lot. We have a number of kids that are going to help us, but they're still learning. It's going to take them time, and these guys are going to set the example. And it's good because I don't have to really get on these guys. A lot of times you hear these guys saying exactly what I'm going to say to them. So I kind of hold these guys to a level, and then they hold the younger guys to a level. So it's kind of been working good.
Just almost 2 weeks ago, in a special moment here for Jameer, he signed his national letter of intent to Ryder. How proud are you of him?
Super proud. Super proud. But like I told him, now the work really has to kick in. Now he's starting at the bottom and he has to climb that mountain again. So I'm really hard on him. I'm really hard on him. A lot of people will let him sign and relax and be happy about it. We're not happy at all. We got to get him ready off the court in the classroom, and we also got to get him ready on the court so he can walk on campus and be prepared to play.
Jameer, let you jump on here. And I know I asked you this before, but we'll ask you this at this setting. To have your college decision out of the way, and now you can focus on having the best senior season you can. How important is that for you?
I say it's very important. It takes a lot of weight off my shoulders. I can stay focused, just play every day, and not have to worry about anything.
Let's go to Amir here. I know you were one of those guys that came in off the bench, and it just seemed like every time you took a 3-pointer, it went in. But I know you're going to take on a bigger role this year. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, not just catch and shoot, but like getting off the ball and setting screens and dribbling, getting to the basket, and opening up for my teammates.
Okay, let's jump to Aiden here. You're a guy that's been around the program for a long time, and now you're going to get your shot to play a little bit more. I know you were kind of in the rotation the last 2 years, and now you're a senior. You're going to be guys looked up to. How much are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking great for my teammates. Just have a good senior season with the team. Enjoy my time with my friends while I can.
How much of a privilege is it to be able to have played varsity basketball at Middle, all these years?
It's definitely a privilege. I feel like I definitely got a lot better over a couple years I was here.
Okay. All right. So let's go to Chase here, and this is you look at these 3 guys, and they're mostly guards. This is a guy that's going to have to do some things inside, and Rayal's not there anymore, and obviously Riley's at a different school. You're the guy who's going to have to do a lot inside. How much are you looking forward to that challenge?
I'm looking forward to it a lot. I just want to do anything that's going to put the team to win, anything that's going to put the team to win, and ready to go whenever.
All right, so Lamar, what how do you feel about this group right now? I mean, what do you see in the preseason? You haven't had a scrimmage yet. Obviously, they'll all come this week. But how do you feel about how you've started here?
We're lucky. I'm grumpy right now. I'm complaining about everything because just that's how I am, and I want everything to be perfect. But we have a lot coming back, and we have a lot of kids. We're a high program in the state of New Jersey, so we have kids in the back waiting. They're waiting their turn, and now their turns are coming up. And we have seniors here. Chase has been waiting. Chase already has the schools calling about him. So we have guys waiting. Even Mikey and Kanye and Mason, there's already scouting services that talking about them too. So we have guys waiting their turn.
You're going to play that challenging schedule again. I know you're playing some really good teams at the Boardwalk Classic. I know you're in some other showcase events. I know that's what you're about. That's important to you.
Yeah, it is important, and it starts this week. We got St. Rose and Roselle Catholic this week, and that'll be really challenging. But like I say, we know we're going in the right direction when those teams answer the phone when we call. And they answer the phone, and it's not even a hesitation. Coach, you want us to come to you, or you want to come here, and whatever. Give us a date, and we'll be there.
I would imagine that the Cape Atlantic League sometimes might get overlooked. That is a terrific accomplishment to win the league, and I'm sure you're looking to repeat.
Yeah, but it's one step at a time. We'll be ready on the 17th for St. Joe's, and Rodeo does a great job with those kids. They play hard, and they're going to come to compete. And like I said, we don't feel like we're on top. We still feel like we're the hunters, and we're still hunting to get what we want because we haven't achieved it yet. And I know these guys want it. I can tell how hard they go in practice.
Okay. All right, well, listen, we appreciate you guys coming over. So Chase Moore, Aiden Howe, Amir Elston, Jameer McNeil, head coach Lamar Greer. We wish you guys the best of luck. First of all, stay healthy. Make sure you enjoy yourselves, work hard, and best of luck for the upcoming season. Thanks for coming over, guys. So that's this Middle Township. We thank them for coming over, and we'll be back on the other side as we move to our final segment, and we'll have the Wildwood teams on the other side. This is the Cape May County High School basketball preview show live from the Mudhen Station House on Cape Atlantic Live. Back live at the Mudhen Station House, Cape Atlantic Live, Cape May County High School Basketball Preview Show. I'm Brian Cunniff, now joined by the members of the Wildwood girls team, and this is what happens in small town communities. You end up interviewing your wife. I'll be interviewing my son later, so it just gets a little weird around here. So Teresa Cunniff, the head coach, and two of the players, junior Angie Wilbur and sophomore Rebecca Benechu. And for everybody wondering about Macy McCracken, who's one of the most prolific scorers in Cape May County history, she is still part of the program. She went to the Eagles game today and hasn't made it back, so she won't be here this evening. So first of all, congratulations on a great year last year. South Jersey Championship, to win it by 1 at home in your own gym had to be pretty special. I know it was.
Amazing. It was very amazing.
Rebecca, you were a freshman last year, and you were the one that hit the shot that won the game. Just thinking back, I mean, what are your thoughts about it now?
I mean, it was great. It was a team effort. I just hope we can do something like that again this year.
Maybe not leave it that late, but and you're probably gonna be the point guard this year, taking over for your older sister, going into a different role. Last year you were kind of the off the ball second ball handler and shooter, and now you're gonna handle it more. How much are you looking forward to that?
It's definitely a big role to fill. My sister did a lot of great things, so. But I got to play with her, so I get to look up to what she did and just go from there.
You have these two and Macy back, and obviously with Macy, there's not much to say except when you throw the numbers up. 1,782 career points already, led the state with 107 three-pointers, averaged almost 23 a game. Also over 10 rebounds a game, even though she's only about 5'8". What can you say about her? And now you only get her for her last year.
Well, we're going to have to enjoy this year. A player like Macy comes around once in a blue moon. She just gives you everything she's got, and she's just a baller. You also have Sydney Killian back from your rotation. She'll be a little better for you this year, and a couple transfers in and a lot of freshmen. And I know one of the big things that's coming out about your program for the first time in a long time. How happy are you? You're going to have a JV team this year. It's priceless right now because these girls are our future of our program, and I'm so fortunate to have them all come this year, and the future is bright with these girls.
Who are some of these? Why don't you give us some of the names, some of the kids that expect to help out with the varsity, including these two and Macy.
All right, we're going to have these two, Macy, Kiana, Sarah, and a bunch of other girls, Janet. Whoever is practicing the hardest is going to get a spot, and get some time.
You've kind of turned your program, and I know the personnel certainly leads this way, but you play much differently than a lot of girls basketball teams. You go up and down. You really shoot a lot of outside shots. It's kind of hard to believe that the smallest regular public high school in South Jersey and one of the smallest ones in the state actually led the state in three-pointers. You shoot a lot of them. You kind of fell into that because you have these two and Macy and Soph last year, and you're going to get Amen Fatih's younger sister Layla's going to be able to knock them down for you as a freshman. What's that like to be able to play that way?
Well, it's going to be very entertaining, and honestly, we give all of our girls the green light. So I rather have a missed shot than a turnover. So put it up.
You're Tri-County Classic co-champions last year with Gloucester Catholic, which seems to happen every year. You seem to beat each other on each other's floor every year. Winning South Jersey for the second time in 3 years, and when you have a kid the caliber of Macy back and two double-digit scorers back like Rebecca and Ange, have you talked to the kids about being the hunted because everyone's going to be coming after you?
Yeah, no, we don't really talk about that. We just say, we're going to practice as hard as we can practice and go out and do our thing.
you know.
Rebecca, having last year, I'm sure the game, and I know it wasn't this way toward the end of the year, but I'm sure the pace of the game and everything was very fast for you and everything else. After having some success and winning a championship and being a big contributor, how much more prepared do you think you are this year, heading into your sophomore year?
Well, I got to really experience what it was like in the high school level, but as a team, I think we're going to do really great, and we can work together and play the best we can.
The one thing that we see at Wildwood is you get a lot of community support there. You get a lot of people at your home games, especially in the playoffs. I mean, what's it like playing basketball at Wildwood High?
It's such a great feeling, like making a shot or like doing something good, and you have everyone like lifting you up around you. It's like an electric feeling. So.
What would you say goals are this year?
Oh, we're gonna, one of our goals is to compete for the league championship. We want to get right back to the South Jersey championship as well. And we're 20 wins every season.
All right, so the Wildwood girls, you have kind of a tricky opener. You're at Pennsville. They're a team you handled last year at home, but they do have their 3 leading scorers back. You're going to have to play on the road in a gym where a lot of your kids have never played. Right. So that's on Wednesday the 18th. How big of a game is that?
It's a big one. We need to get that to start the winning. But, we're going to have their boys in our gym, because it's a doubleheader with them. So we'll have some fans. Right. So hopefully it'll make them feel a little more comfortable. And we usually get there early enough to get some shots up before the game starts. So I think we'll be fine.
All right, so the Wildwood girls, we appreciate you coming on. Head coach Teresa Cunniff, Angie Wilbur, Rebecca Benechu. Macy McCracken couldn't be here. She was rooting on the Eagles in a nail biter today. But we appreciate you guys coming on. And best of luck to the Wildwood High School girls basketball team this year. Stay healthy and enjoy it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll be back to finish up here at the Mudhen on the other side with the Wildwood boys. This is the Cape Atlantic Live Cape May County High School Basketball Preview Show live from the Station House at the Mudhen. All right, back live at the Mudhen Station House, Cape Atlantic Live, Cape May County High School basketball preview show, and we are finally at our final segment. We have the Wildwood boys team here. We always make Wildwood go last because they're local. A lot of their kids and coaches are within walking distance from here, so we on a Sunday night, the Wildwood teams always wrap us up. Head coach Scott McCracken could not be here. He is on his way back from the Eagles game, so sitting in for him is assistant coach Rich Hans, and we also have senior Brian Cunniff, senior R.J. Blanda all the way down the end, and then in between the two seniors is sophomore Nolan Mawini, and we appreciate you guys being here with us at the Mudhen. So first of all, Rich, it was last year was kind of an up and down regular season. Maybe didn't have the wins that you wanted, but kind of put it together a little late and won a couple of state playoff games. And I know it's been frustrating because this program's been on the cusp of getting to a South Jersey final and just hasn't been able to do it. But you had to be pretty pleased with what you did last year.
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal is to compete every game, and we have, although we lack size, but we certainly didn't lack heart. And I don't expect anything less from these guys and the group that we have this year. We do have a little bit of size this year, but the heart's definitely going to be there, and we bleed maroon and white, and these kids are going to go out and they're going to battle for you every day, and that's all you can ask. And that's, in our division and our conference, as long as we play that way, we're competitive every game, so that's all we can ask.
You don't see this all that often, and maybe you do at small schools like yours, but it's a strange dynamic in that you basically lost 7 of your top 8 players. So only Brian is back as a returning starter. He was the second leading scorer and the leading rebounder, and you had a core of seniors there, led by Junior and Ryan Triano, who really led this program to a lot of success. But what's it like kind of having to almost start fresh with a completely new look here?
Well, it's good because the guys that we have in were all freshmen last year, so I'm the JV coach, and I was a little hard on them, so they know what to expect coming in. They know that what we want of them. We had great leadership last year, so they kind of, the older guys are kind of passing the torch, and I think these guys will be ready to play. They'll run through a wall for you, and they get that from the older guys that moved on and went on to bigger and better things, but I think these guys will be ready to go. All
right, Brian, you're senior year now and the only returning starter. How does your role change?
I think I'm going to be asked to score a lot more this year, maybe handle the ball a lot more. I mean, the past 2 years between my sophomore and my junior year of playing varsity, I was more of a big. I played more of a forward position, and this year, as Coach Hans said, we're a little bigger than we were last year, which is weird for Wildwood, but we have a lot of size, and I think I'm going to be playing more of a guard position and a guard role, so definitely handling the ball and most likely scoring too.
Rich, so you mentioned the size, and it's some of these newcomers that are bringing that size. Talk about those kids and who they are.
So we have 3 bigs this year, and that's, like Brian said, that's really unusual for us because we're not really big across the board ever. So, but we have Eric Jordan, who's probably stands about 6'6". It's his first year playing, but sometimes it's better to get those guys that are coming out for their first year because you don't have to break bad habits. When he rebounds, he keeps the ball high. He knows how to throw an outlet pass. He has good footwork. He's a big time football player at Wildwood. We have Jack Fullerton, who played basketball through the Islander program and through the middle school programs, from 3rd grade to 8th grade. So he has a basketball IQ. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to rebound. He knows how to outlet. And then we have Jordan Dozier, who's been with us since his 5th grade year in the Wildwood Middle School, and then up through the the Wildwood Junior varsity team. And last year got a little bit of playing time varsity, so he does have a little bit of varsity experience. So between those 3 kids, I mean, that's 6'6", 6'4", 6'2", maybe. So we're a little bit bigger than what we normally have been in the past. And like Brian said, that's going to be able to move him to his more natural position, which is probably the 2 or the 3. And then, obviously we'll be even putting the ball in his hands to bring the ball up the court a little bit when we get pressure.
And then, let's go to talk about Nolan here. I mean, he's a guy that, I know got, a couple cups of coffee with the varsity, so to speak, but was mostly a JV player. But I know he's a kid that has improved, has grown, and I know you're expecting a lot out of him in terms of scoring as well.
Well, we are, and Nolan is a very, very unselfish player. Last year in the JV games, I would have to beg him to shoot the ball. I'm hoping that he understands that he's probably going to be our second scorer on this team, so he's going to have to put some shots up. He has a great shot. He has a good handle, and, with Trevor probably doing most of the ball handling, we're going to look at Nolan to score the basketball. So he can't be gun shy, and he's going to have to put the basket and put the ball in the basket.
You might not be as deep this year, but one of the guys that may be helping you off the bench is RJ down there. So RJ, you're basically a JV player for 3 years, and now you're going to get a shot with the varsity. What's it been like for you in the preseason? Just hold it right up to your mouth. That's all. You don't have to put it all the way on.
Obviously, playing JV for 3 years has helped me kind of evolve my game, because growing up, I never been the tallest person. So growing up, I'm trying it's going to be a different role change, because on JV, my role as a junior was to teach the freshmen on how to run the plays and do all this stuff. So now to get thrown on the varsity court, my role is way bigger, as they're going to if I get the ball, they're looking for me to score or to throw passes so other people can get open. So it's going to be a big change, but I think I'll be able to handle it.
All right, so Nolan, your first year really of you're now going to go from being mostly a JV player to a starter. So how have you been adapting to that so far in the preseason?
Yeah, I think my role is definitely a lot bigger. Even last year on JV, I didn't have a big role because I wasn't one of those. I was a freshman, so I didn't have as big a role as some of the juniors that played. So I think this year, I'm like he said, I'm gonna have to score a lot more, play defense, because we don't have a lot of that. I mean, we have a lot of size, obviously, but we just lack in shooting. So I think I have to score. So is Brian. So is Trevor. And yeah, I think I'll have to have a bigger role this season.
All right, so Brian, one more for you. There's with losing all those kids from last year, there's a lot of people out there talking about how you're going to be down. It's not going to be a good year for Wildwood. How much are you looking forward to trying to change that narrative?
Well, I mean, that narrative's kind of been around the past 3-4 years in Wildwood. I mean, dating back to my freshman year, we're kind of how we are now. We had one kid return, maybe 2 kids return that played varsity, and I mean we've been proving people wrong for 4 years, for my 4 years here at least. And I mean my sophomore year we ended up winning 23 games. We were the best team in our conference. We had a banner in the gym. I mean the past 2 years we've made it to the semifinals of the state tournament. I think this year I honestly don't think we're going to be as bad as people think at all. I think we're going to turn some heads, and I think the way that we play, I think we play very well as a team. I think me and Nolan complement each other very well, especially in practice when we go against each other. And by the time we get into the game, I think we're going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially in our league. And I actually don't think we're going to be as bad.
Rich, we didn't talk about some of the other guards. You mentioned Trevor, so that's Trevor Troiano, Gianni Troiano. And I'm sure you're expecting some contributions from them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talked to RJ a little bit earlier, and I think he failed to mention that we're going to look for RJ to come in and defend a little bit. Mm-hmm. And guys like Daniel and Gianni, and if Vinny gets in there, those guys are all guys that could defend the basket a little bit and get the ball up and down the court. So although we have a little bit of mixture of size, we're also pretty fast, and we can hopefully defend too, and create some turnovers and get some easy points in transition. And
a couple of scrimmages this week, and then the season openers at Pennsville. That's a huge game for you right out of the gate. How big of a game do you feel that is?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a big game, but it's also against a smaller school, so we'll be competitive in it. The only thing that's I think we were supposed to play them at home, and now we're traveling on the road to play them. So obviously it's going to be a lot tougher to play them on the road. But we didn't get to play Pennsville last year, so I think it'll be good because our stuff is, when we run it the right way, is pretty good against a team that we haven't seen in a couple years. So, these guys all know the concept of what we're trying to do and the offense that we're trying to run, double and, pit, and, we have some good sets. So I think that against Pennsville, I think we'll be okay as long as we can get up and down the court and rebound the basketball and, get some second chance looks.
All right, well, we appreciate you guys being here. Head coach Rich Hans, senior R.J. Blanda, sophomore Nolan Mawhinney, senior Brian Cunniff, always the second tallest person in his house, and we appreciate you guys.
That's just not true.
We appreciate you guys
not true.
Being here, and best of luck on the season, and hopefully, as always, first and foremost, you guys stay healthy and make sure you enjoy it.
I got two
Rich.
things for you, Brian.
What's
Number
that?
one, I'm not the head coach. Scott's the head coach.
I said head coach.
I got roped into this,
yes,
right?
Yes,
and
that's right. Scott's the head coach.
The second thing is, I think the reason why we always go last is just to make that Chris Del Rossi a little mad. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You had Wildwood Catholic on here first again.
Yes.
And then you put us on last so that Chris can text me later on tonight. I can't wait to get the text.
That is true. That is true.
I hope he's listening.
That is true. So, it's been a fun night, and we did mention it earlier, but on a somber note, we do want to dedicate this show to Buddy Tarbotton, who was my longtime partner, first with 98.7 The Coast, and then more recently with Cape Atlantic Live. As everyone involved in basketball down here knows, Buddy passed away over the summer. We certainly miss him. This was one of his favorite nights of the year, and it's going to be a little strange going forward in basketball without him. But we want to give it up to Buddy. We know he's watching from above, and he's watching all the teams and kids, and he'll be in our minds and hearts all this entire basketball season. So make sure you check out. We'll be posting on our social media pages and on the website our schedule. As we said earlier, we will be doing about 30 games live in Cape May County. Cape Atlantic Live will also cover many games up in Atlantic County as well. We will have playoff games and whatnot. I would say by the end of the year, we will have covered 50 or 60 games throughout the Cape Atlantic League, and we try our best to showcase all of our kids down here. For all the great people at the Mud Hen who helped make this happen, we can't do it without you, and we appreciate you opening your doors to us for coming in here every year. It certainly is a fun night and a great way to celebrate Cape May County High School basketball. For Matt Ulmer, our executive producer who handled everything tonight behind the scenes, I'm Brian Cunniff. Thanks for joining us. This has been the high school basketball preview for Cape May County live at the Mud Hen. Thanks for joining us on Cape Atlantic Live.